I've already started Vlogmas and I didn't realise. It's June. And I've started Vlogmas. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie B and I read a lot of books, which is why I have a little section of my corner of the internet called Debbie's Bookshelf. It's mainly started by me collecting all the books in the house that I hadn't read, putting them on my bookshelf and making my way through them. And then that extended to me getting an app called BorrowBox, which is a free app which is connected to my local library. Not sponsored by them, I just really enjoy BorrowBox because it means as a book lover I get to read books for free. Isn't that every book lover's dream? Today's book is called The Chateau and it's by Catherine Cooper, and that is the front cover of the book. So this one was read on BorrowBox, it's not one off the bookshelf. This is a fairly new book, I believe. It says it was released August 2021, so last year, as I'm filming this. For all I know, you could be watching this years in the future and it's not 2022 anymore. It's 400 pages in crime and thriller, detective, horror and romance. And I'm just going to get in with that blurb and then I will tell you what I thought about the book. They thought it was perfect. They were wrong. A glamorous chateau. Aura and Nick don't talk about what happened in England. They bought a chateau in France to make a fresh start and their kids need them to stay together whatever it costs. A couple on the brink. The expat community is welcoming, but when a neighbour is murdered at a lavish party, Aura and Nick don't know who to trust. A secret that is bound to come out. Someone knows exactly why they really came to the chateau, and someone is going to give them what they deserve. So you start off on the night of the party where someone is murdered. You're aware it's a big lavish Halloween party. There's references to a woman dressed up as Mary Poppins with some zombie makeup going on. You're aware there's kids at this party and it seems very lavish and glamorous. And you find out through screaming that somebody has died at the party. It then jumps back a few months where you meet Aura and Nick. This is where you start getting everything from first Aura's point of view and then you also go into Nick's point of view as well. But for that first section you're hearing from Aura. And I'll be honest, through both Aura's chapters and Nick's chapters, I didn't really like either of them. I thought both of them seemed quite selfish, and parts of their personality were things I didn't agree with, which again made me not like them very much. Through Aura's chapters you do kind of feel sorry for Aura, but at the same time you also feel for Nick, knowing that he is living with Aura and living through Aura's point of view on certain things. She's very holistic, she doesn't believe in conventional medicine, which later becomes a very big plot point. Through Nick's chapters, he seems very selfish, and you find out secrets that both of them are hiding. Not from each other, because they both know what each other have done by the time they get to France, but the secrets they're keeping from other people around them. But yeah, so straight away I wasn't the biggest fan of Aura, but at the same time, seeing Nick through Aura's eyes, I did feel sorry for her. Because through Aura's chapters, Nick seems very selfish and standoffish. To be honest, neither of them seem like the greatest parents. Aura's constantly complaining about Nick and how she's changed the sleeping arrangements. She says that back at home she had the boys sleeping in bed with them, but as part of the move to France, they come to a compromise where they don't share their bed with the kids anymore, and Aura kind of resents Nick for that because she wants to be in bed with the kids. And you know, I always say that when it comes to parenting, do what you need to do to make it work, and the fact is, if you are happy and the kids are being cared for and all that and nobody's getting hurt, just do what you need to do. That's where my brain is at when it comes to that kind of thing. As long as you're not hurting anybody and that ultimately everybody is happy with the arrangement, just do what you need to do. And in Nick's case, I kind of understand Nick's point of view in the fact that he doesn't want to share his bed with the kids all the time, especially when you find out that Aura and Nick's own relationship was starting to be damaged slightly from that arrangement. There's lots of talks about kind of the sex life and how that's diminished since the kids were born. And then when you go into Nick's chapters, obviously, basically, in Aura's chapters you are seeing it in kind of the modern day. I say modern day. You're seeing it in the present while they have moved to France. And you hear little things about what Aura's done, but it's not explicitly stated what she actually has done. She just says that after the events of what happened in London, they need to make a fresh start. So you're aware that Aura has done something while they were in London. Then through Nick's chapters, you then go back a few months where you see Nick's life as a teacher, you see his point of view on his relationship with Aura and the kids, and his relationship with students and faculty at the school that he teaches at. Through that then you also get chapters from a teenager who is a new student at Nick's school. I'll admit certain parts of the storyline in Nick's chapters was fairly predictable, but I won't say that really took away much from the storyline because you're still trying to figure out what Nick's secret was at that point. So even though the secret and the revealing of the secret seemed very predictable, like I could see it coming. I could definitely see it coming. But then what happened after that and the lead up to the revealing of what Nick did, even though you knew it was coming, the journey and what happened afterwards was very interesting to read. There were points though, because I was getting the bits from the Chateau, the storyline in France, and then going back to the story before when they were in London. There were times when I felt like I was reading two different books, because the story of what's happening in the present in France in the Chateau, and then the storyline of Nick and what he was doing at home and his relationship with his students, I'll just say that. It almost felt like I was reading a bit like a fan fiction when I was reading Nick's chapters, and I was just thinking, how is this all going to be tied together? But oh, the way that it all does come out, oh my goodness. The way that it eventually does come together just completely blew my mind, and it was so good. It was so good. You got your murder mystery, you do have elements of comedy in the beginning of the book when you are in France in the Chateau and you seeing the relationship between Aura and Nick and the kids. And you also got the relationship with the people who are filming them, because at the beginning of the book you realise that they've got a film crew of 2 people filming them renovating this chateau, and you've got all like the little spooky things that are happening in the chateau as well, and always they're thinking that the people filming are maybe doing something for their ratings, and you're trying to figure out just how everything comes together. That's the thing. It's again, this book is a bit of a giant jigsaw. But there are times when you feel like it's 2 different jigsaw puzzles, and it was just so good. When the ending came and you realised who certain people were in relation to what the couple are trying to leave behind, it's just really clever. I've actually, once I finished this, I then looked up the author and downloaded her first book, which was called The Chalet. I'm very, very intrigued. Yeah, the whole, how it all comes together. And Nick just comes across as a sleaze the whole time. Even before you find out what his secret is, you're just like, ugh. Because you get it from the early chapters in France when Aura and Nick are invited to a dinner party at one of the other expats' chalets. I've got chalet on the brain. One of the other expats' chateaus. And you find it at that party. It's quite a sexy party, basically. You think it's a dinner party, and then you find out that the owner of the house is like swingers, and they're all like exchanging, and Aura goes mental, basically. It's just like she's looking at Nick and watching him do drugs, and it's just like, how dare you do this, and how dare you do that, and what would have happened if we had stayed? And when it goes into Nick's chapters back in the modern day, I keep saying modern day like it's going between 2 completely different timelines. It's only a difference of about 3 months. A lot of the time between the 2 chapters, I was wondering how on earth Aura and Nick were still together, to be honest. And I guess that's part of the storyline, because they go to France to kind of rebuild their relationship after everything that's happened. But the secrets they're hiding, the fact that you don't like them anyway, as everything comes out, you realise it's on purpose that you don't like them. Things that, there's certain descriptions of them where you just like, really don't like this person. Then by the end of it, you're just like, yeah, they were actually a perfect couple because they were both as bad as each other. Anyway, I've got pork in the oven and I have a feeling the timer's about to go off, so I'm going to wrap it up there. The Chateau by Catherine Cooper. Yeah, it was just, yeah, cool, come in. But yeah, you've got your murder mystery in there from the death at the Halloween party, which is the same chateau that they had the dinner party at. And then you've got all the spooky things happening in the chateau. You've got the secrets and the lies and everything, and a twist which I didn't see coming, which almost seemed to happen very quickly. But then yeah, the way everything ties up is just... Anyway, Chateau, Catherine Cooper, go read it. It's got a bit of something for everybody there. I'm going to go downstairs and get that pork out of the oven and carry on cooking. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye my lovelies.